coming to you live from the Covenant Nation, Igomu, right next to the National Theatre. So if you live in Lagos, Nigeria, you still have time to make it here to the venue to be part of the present live audience. It is going to be an amazing time. But before I continue to tell you about the platform, my name is Toyin Pojoyemade. And the platform, if you're a first timer watching us for the first time, maybe you're just tuning across your channels and you stumbled on this online or on television, the platform is an initiative of the Covenant Nation set up by our senior pastor, Pastor Poju Oyemade. And since 2007, every 1st of May and 1st of October, we come together to talk about issues surrounding personal development and also nation building. And today we're continuing with the theme, Innovating Our Way into the Future, a summit for entrepreneurs and intrapreneurs. And each and every one of us fall into any of these two categories, right? Even across stages and phases of life. So that means this is a platform everyone must be a part of. We have 12 amazing sessions that we know will be highly insightful. I am not alone in the studio today, and it's a different kind of vibe. So this is the platform studio. We're also going to go to the main event where it's going to start. And here at the studio, I have two of our intended speakers with me who will be sharing some of their thoughts on today's theme and maybe their expectations from the platform itself. So before we start the main event, I'd like to introduce my guests to my right. Mr. Gbolahan Joshua, you're welcome.
Thank you. Good morning, Nigeria. Happy Workers' Day to all Nigerian workers, Nigerian entrepreneurs creating the jobs, and the government creating the enabling environment. Excellent. Always a pleasure to be here.
Thank you, and it's good to have you here. Though you used to be with us, but you are now a speaker on the other side.
But I'm starting here.
But you're starting here, exactly. Thank you so much. And we also have Mrs. Yvonne Nelson.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Workers' Day. Really excited to be here.
Thank you. And I mean, you're a platform veteran, so it's always great to have you here. So let me start with you. Let's talk about this platform first. What are your expectations from this platform, both as a speaker, but also as an attendee?
You know, thank you so much. And again, I'm very excited to be here. When I started my journey with entrepreneurship, one of the things that I did is that I sat in a cafe and I listened to this podcast, How I Built This. And it went through the journeys of different entrepreneurs, right? You know, in different industries. And today's speaker lineup mirrors that, right? You know, I run a fintech, but we have speakers both in technology, both in retail, both in enterprise. And so for me, one of my expectations, one of the things I'm really excited about is to really hear their stories, because I remember that time when I started. And there's a lot of great insights that you can get from somebody in a different industry, in a different function, but you're all connected by being entrepreneurs.
Excellent. Thank you for sharing that. And correction, I said Yvonne Nelson, but it's Yvonne Johnson. Yes, thank you for that. And you know, there's something Pastor always says, the life of a man is really in their stories, right? So I love personally watching biographies because you get a lot just from that watching or reading. Mr. Gbolahan, what are your expectations now as a speaker?
Well, interesting. So when I look at the speaker lineup, lineup of the speakers, number one, like Yvonne said, you want to hear people's perspectives, you want to hear them speak about their journey, and this one is unique. So you've got entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs, and most of the time, most people just speak about the entrepreneurs, And today is Workers' Day, so a lot of people listening are entrepreneurs, and a lot of people, you ask most workers today, what's your basic need? They say, I want a bigger salary, yeah? And to get that bigger salary, you need some people within that organization who are going to build new businesses, who are going to innovate, look for new opportunities so that organizations can bake a bigger cake. Now, for me, those are some of the things I want to hear about. How do you drive that culture of innovation from an entrepreneurial perspective? How do you, from an entrepreneurial perspective, create that environment, reward your employees? Just hear different perspectives, because, there's always this divide. The entrepreneur is thinking this way, the intrapreneur is thinking the other way.
Thank you, and I'll just pick up from that, because one of the things, and this concept of intrapreneurship, it's a big word. Everybody's used to the entrepreneurship word. And it's someone working within an organization, but is still innovative. Now, looking at, and just across the world, really, everybody's always working for someone, but You're working for someone thinking of the day you will start working for yourself and by yourself. So I'm not sure how much people are really present in their jobs and truly being innovative without obviously the motivation being the big paycheck, which is a great motivation as well. But for you who has worked in an organization for many years, how have you built your personal entrepreneurial spirit?
So I think, there's a cultural bit of this thing, yeah. So when most people are going to university, parents tell them, read a professional course. They say, why? They say, so that you can set up your own stuff. But I think the world is changing, and even from an entrepreneurial journey perspective, what you find out these days is you can't do it alone. The world has moved from a stage where you have one single genius, creates a product alone, takes it to the market, or works within an organization. You need partnerships, you need an ecosystem to be able to deliver value today. You just can't do it alone. The world is so interconnected. So I just use an example. If you think of Uber, yeah? If there was no Google Maps, how would Uber have survived, yeah? How are you going to book your ride? So people are leveraging on the innovations of other people, and I think the first thing you need as an entrepreneur is first focus on adding value where you are. You can't be thinking of, I'm trying to learn skills that I'm going to use 30 years from now. You don't even know how the world is going to look like 30 years from now. So focus on creating value where you are, build relationships, build partnerships, and then the rest will be history.
And I also think everybody cannot run their business, because somebody has to work in the business that somebody is running. And we'll just say some people are called to be entrepreneurs, and some people are called to maybe be entrepreneurs or managers of the businesses. What's your view on that?
I think, I'll go back to the soft skills, yeah? Some people are risk takers, yeah? And some people are very good at taking risks within an organization. Some people can take those risks outside the organization. And for a lot of entrepreneurs, which is something I'm going to speak about, people don't realize the value of the support they get innovating within a system, So you're innovating within a system, you already have customers, you already have data, there is capital, there is talent to tap on, The entrepreneur has to think of all those himself. And at times you've got the entrepreneur in the business, he's creating new opportunities, and then all of a sudden, I keep on telling people, I say, don't start drinking your own Kool-Aid. They start believing in their hype, yeah? And then they go out and find out that this thing is hard. It's lonely at the top. So I will say, yes, everybody cannot be an entrepreneur. I think a lot of people are not cut out to be entrepreneurs. And if you look at the world and look at how many successful businesses there really are, I was just listening to what Yvonne was saying, as part of her platform build-up. And when she was speaking about resilience, that determination, And for some people, that determination, they need a group of people to encourage them. Yeah. When they're within an organization, they get that determination, they get it going, they get that encouragement. For some people, they can just bootstrap themselves up, and those are the entrepreneurs. So it's going to be a very interesting set of conversations.
It certainly will, and I'm looking forward to it. So let's come to the entrepreneur. You run a fintech. What has your journey been like? And there's first the running a business in Nigeria is crazy. But I think running a business anywhere in the world can be crazy. But for you, what has that been like? And just to quickly piggyback on this, in the build-up that he talks about determination, but also adaptability. So the need to constantly change. I'd like you to also share more on that.
It's an interesting thing that I also learned. Entrepreneurship is actually a journey, and so I've learned a lot. And when you think about adaptability, it's to say that your option 1, 2, and 3 do not work out, and so what do you do? And it's just that comfort with that ambiguity. I'll give you a quick example, right? One of the first clients that we chased, when I started, took a long time. They finally agreed to it, right? But the guy called me and said, okay, the board has agreed to it, but they said they're not going to pay you. You're going to do it for free, right? I wasn't planning on that, right? But I had to be adaptable to make it work, right? Because that was a huge opportunity that we had stumbled on. And so that comfort with ambiguity is what it means to be adaptable as an entrepreneur.
I love that. Comfort with ambiguity. And I think so that you don't finish all your presentations here, we have to go right to the platform, which is going to begin now. Join us online with the hashtag #theplatformng. You have to be part of this conversation. With just these two, little things they've shared, we've already learned a lot. But so much more is coming. Once more, we have 12 amazing speakers that would be introduced to you once we get to the main session. Thank you for joining us here at the platform. Tell us where you're joining from online. We would like to know as well. But be present. Don't be distracted as an online audience. We'll go right now into the main session. One more time, thank you for joining us. You're welcome to the platform.